Here we are at the KC Hall in Oxnard, California. You're not going to believe where I ran into some of the most historic vatos and chiques, right? I want to ask and their names. Their name, Mike.
Spanish or English, which one you want? Mire, yo soy partner del año 1974-5 en un car club. New Image.
Eso.
Y aquí está mi amigo, el presidente, se lo paso al otro amigo.
Eso.
My name is Larry Reyes.
Armondo Sandoval.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Armondo Sandoval was the original hopper in the 805 representing Ventura County. He's been all over the Southwest hopping cars. Larry Reyes is one of my best amigos ever. I grew up with his family and I've known him forever. And Mike had the best show car in the early days with Catalina. Tell us about that car.
1963 Fania Catalina. The best car in town, in Oxnard, California. Nice metal flake, paint job. You can believe it.
So it was a
we go to car shows, we go hang out Cooper Road, Savings Road in 1974 to 78. My name is Parna Kiuli.
So Larry Reyes had one of the most immaculate vehicles in 1973 Century.
Yeah, Century, Buick Century.
And tell me what you did to it back then.
Well, you know, the T-Tops came out just a year before, and I wanted one, and I had to go through a dealer to have it installed. But I had a T-Top put on my car, and it was just unbelievable because nobody had T-Tops. You know, even they were putting them on cars, you know, none of them were around us. They were like in Los Angeles or something like that. So it's pretty unique.
And Armondo was one of the most innovative persons there, welding, taking cars apart, defying the law of gravity with your hopper. Is that right? Tell us about hopping in those days.
Well, I started doing hydraulics probably in the 70s, and I started hanging around in competition during the cruising and Cooper Road also. And also, I do competition by the Lowrider magazine with Johnny in the early days of the 79. And I remember I went to first place in competition against those early hoppers like Rob Fuentes, Ben Hopper, Fred Mugia, and even in San Fernando, those guys from Santa Maria. I've been doing hydraulics all my life, honest to you, and it's still today.
So in those times, there weren't many hoppers, but Armondo was one of them, going by the name of it, Maniaco, crazy hopper,
Yes, sir.
right? Larry Reyes had one of the most beautiful vehicles. What color was that?
It was like a midnight blue metallic, like a really, really dark, almost like black. Had a lot of metallic in there.
And I couldn't believe how immaculate. I had seen it maybe 10, 20 years later, and it still looked the same. And then we have Maniaco, Parna, who had his
Maniaco es
Catalina.
aquel cabrón. You know.
Ahí está. So I'm going to introduce you to another colleague of mine, another camarada, another homie. Introduce yourself.
My name is Ramon Lopez.
And tell us a little bit about your history.
My history got into lowriding with two things when I seen the Stylistics. New Image. New Image was very big here at that time. And honestly, the Imperial Car Club, Gypsy Rose.
Right.
You know, when we seen it all Chico on the map, I said, I got to do that. So now, me, almost 43 years, we started a club called City Life. We've been together since 1977, and we're still here.
Wow, that's incredible.
So,
you know, there's not many clubs that last that long, let alone in a small town, which was a small town like this.
Right.
But you sustained for all those years, and what was the driving force behind that?
Family. We're a family club. Our strong thing is family. We love family. We promote family. Because when you join our club, you're family for life.
There you go.
And I haven't seen Mike in maybe 35, 40 years.
45 years.
45 years. And we were in the same car club called New Image Car Club. And I couldn't believe it when my colleague here, my camarada, my homie, Armondo told me that he was here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, Larry Reyes, man. Larry Reyes
Be
and I
surprised, buddy. Be
we
surprised.
go way back to the 50s when our families, we were all born, so to speak. But there you have it. That's just a little taste of what to expect here in the 805 Ventura County Lowrider community. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Johnny.
The 805. You know, in 1972, the Stylistics Car Club was born. Over 75 members. 75 members. But those were the semillas that branched off into other car clubs like
City Life, Touch of Class, Switch,
Don't forget the Brown
Progression,
Sensation.
Brown Sensations,
New Image.
New Image. All of us came from them,
The Stylistics.
from the stylist.
And that was in 1972.
Yes.
That was 1972. Oxnard has always been an island for lowriding,
Right.
even when it wasn't really chic to be lowriding. But we stuck with it. We stuck with it. And so, what are the other, some of the other things you remember?
I remember New Image started Sabres Road. Everybody started cruising. Everybody came. Everybody showed their plaques, their proud, their cars. Beautiful.
Well, everybody had their setups, you know, like
Yeah.
Goodyear.
Goodyear.
It's still there right now with the
Yeah.
31 flavors.
Right.
Remember that? So everybody was actually set up differently.
Yeah.
But the clubs then at that time were so new. Me, I was like 15 years old, 14 years old when I was on a bike. So I showed up to Ramon's house one day and all of a sudden Ramon's starting a club. And we're like, okay, what's going on? There's like 4 people in the room, 4 or 5 people. His mom goes ahead and makes some burritos. Everybody got something to eat. And sure enough, City Life came to life. Ramon came out with the plaque in the form of a shape. And we were like, well, who did that? And we're like, all right, well what am I going to do now? I said, well, you need to get a car, but you got to grow up. So I was like, hey, Ramon, I want to go with you. I wanted to follow this man everywhere. They're like, no, you're not old enough. You know, you're on a bike. So not only does this cultivate a culture, but it cultivates children. It cultivates a way of life. It cultivates discipline. It cultivates... Exactly. And that's what this man has done.
Right. So, Mike and Larry were both in a car club New Image that we began in 1974. Larry, what do you remember from that?
Well, I remember seeing all these, like lowriders to me were 64, 65, maybe a 68. But I never pictured in mind that you'd want to build a newer car, a lowrider.
Right.
And then the first time I saw the New Image, they were parked out. They had nothing but like 70 on-up cars.
Late model.
And they had the 520s and the Kragers and everything. I go, hey, what? That's a new look. It's a really nice look, And I said to myself, you know what? I've always liked the older cars, but I said, you know what? I'm going to try that. So that's when I bought my Buick Regal. I bought a '73 Buick Regal, and right away I Kragered it down, 520'd it, and I joined the New Image, and there was a lot of guys there that helped me out, and I put hydraulics on it and everything, and I wasn't afraid. It was a brand new car. People thought I was crazy, but I go, if they can do it, it doesn't seem to bother them that they destroyed a new car.
And you've transcended. You've got now what? What kind of cars do you have now?
Well, I have a muscle car. I have a '66 Pontiac GTO. That's been my ultimate favorite car all my life. I've always wanted one, and I have one. But I still have the lowrider stick in me.
Right.
And when I hang out with City Life, most of you guys are lowriders. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm getting that bug, but I don't want to do this to a muscle car. So that's when I got my Grand Prix, and I go, I'm going to fix it up into a lowrider. So, I can lowride with these guys. Even though they accept me as a muscle car, I mean, the City Life, we have muscle cars, we have lowriders, we have Heroes, we have a Model T. Some guy from Ventura, an old gentleman, sometimes comes around and hangs with a big Model T. It's a club of cars. It's not really, but family also. Yeah.
So, in essence, family-based, community-based, and we continue to cultivate the community with cars, utilizing the cars as a tool, and it really developed a better sense of community. Thank you guys all for sharing with us, and hopefully we'll see you in the future again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Gracias.